What up, people? All right to the point, man. I want to address something here. Something that we spiritual people need to recognize, and we need to really stop doing, and that is basing all our faith and all our abilities and all the way we see life on spirituality as a whole. Okay, people have replaced real world. They have replaced the real world with spirituality. And what I mean by that is that there are people out here that their basis of their faith, the basis of their being is all based on spirituality. And when you do this, you separate yourself from what reality is. All right, spirituality is a stepping stone. Okay, if you look up spirituality, I'm going to talk to all these people that think that spirituality is separate yourself from the world. You think that spirituality is solitude. You're thinking that it's separate yourself from the world and becoming different or becoming. I'm trying to debunk this for a long time. I don't do enough research. I don't do enough research to really do a video on it, but my research is my life experiences. That's my research. That's what I go by. That's always been my guide. It hasn't failed me once. But we need to stop basing our existence solely on spirituality. What do I mean by that? I'll tell you. Reality still exists, okay? And I put a video up. I think I made my second video about the formula, about how the same way that you gain the knowledge you have to become awakened, you gain it from this world. You walk blindly through this world and you face adversities and you survive, right? And with that, you learn from your experiences. You know, if you pick the wrong person, you knew what not to pick the next time. Even if you are sleepwalking, even if you are still asleep, you know, you look for those signs in the next person. You know what I mean? I'm speaking about a mature person, not a person that keep making. I know people that keep picking the same people over and over again, that keep putting themselves in the hole over and over again. I'm talking about people who are your average people, who are spiritual, who don't know it, but they're being guided through their life, through their experiences, like myself. You know, every time I would do something messed up in life, I would learn from that mistake, and I would pick better next time. I would pick better, but I would get a new set of problems that I wasn't prepared for, right? So those people, you know, not the ones who keep bashing their head to a brick wall over and over again with the same people. I'm not talking about those people. But your average spiritual person does grow, right? So if you're going to grow, the best way to grow, in my opinion, the only way to grow is to experiencing life in situations itself. There are people out here that would avoid all situations with people. They will isolate themselves off from the world, and they would base their instincts and their actions, who they communicate with, who they talk to, even how they deal with their own family and their own children. They'll base that strictly on spirituality, and that's just not the way to go. It's not. Spirituality is used as a guiding tool. It's not used to be your life. It's not meant to be the main part of your life. It's meant to be a guidance, and that guidance is for you to go throughout this world and spread your vibrations throughout the world, right? That means getting out. That means using your gifts if you have one. Whether it's speaking with people, whether it's it doesn't have to be social media. I mean, a lot of people think that because they're not on social media, that they're not successful. That's not the case at all. Social media has definitely clouded a lot of people's judgment, thinking that they have to do that in order to be successful, and because they're not on social media, leading people that they're a failure. That's not the case at all. What were you doing before? If you're my age, in the 80s and the early 90s, you know, there was no internet. So what if you went through it then? What would you do? You would basically have to experience life through your personal experiences. There was no outlet to get out there and spread the word. You would have to deal with your family, your friends. Imagine a world of spirituality and no internet. Imagine that. That's how you should function in your life. Function in your life like there's no social media. And if you were born in the 70s, you grew up in the 80s, or you were born in the 60s and you were an adult in the 80s, you didn't have internet. So therefore, if you went through an awakening, you would have to go with what's available, which is your family and your friends and your surroundings. You have to deal with those first, because there was no other way to get out there, right? You should look at life the same way. In 2022, life should be viewed the same way. Like there's no social media, and this way you keep your eye on the prize. It's not to be seen. It's not really to be heard. It's to be a service to others, people in your circle, people in your family, right? We all don't have gifts. We all can't make music. We all can't, we all don't have talents, things like that. We all We're not all gifted with physical talent. Sometimes we're gifted with spirituality. Spirituality itself is a gift. It's a gift that you can use to guide you. So when I see people basing their soul reality on spirituality, it's really sad because they're missing out on the opportunity to really make a change, you know? And, these are the people who, like I said, I always talk about these people that get in these social media groups and this is how they connect with society. They only deal with people that's like-minded, and they're not going to listen to me. I mean, I've said this many times, and I've seen these people. Some are my friends. Some are people I really think they're good people, but they spend their entire day and their entire life, the entire day and their time speaking to people who's like-minded. They're not taking any chances on helping anybody because they're in fear of negative energy, in fear of rejection, or whatever the fear is. Their idea of spirituality is to pretend like they're special and separate themselves from the world, like we don't have a duty. You know, we have a duty. If you have had an awakening, if you are spiritual, you have a duty to others. There is no way around it. You can word it how you want. You can sit here and act like you're special, and that you're gonna go live in a cave and you're special and all this shit here, and that you're so different. You're not different. You're not special. You were giving a task. Once you have an awakening, once you become spiritual, you are given a task to be a service to others. If you look it up in any definition of spirituality, one of the main definitions, there's a thing called the 7 rules of spirituality. Go back to look up the history of spirituality. It is to be a service to others, and this is the part that everyone's missing. Everyone ignores this particular thing that we're supposed to be doing. Everyone ignores it. I see channels with thousands of followers talking about how special they are and how they always know how special, so I separate myself from the world. That is the opposite of what spirituality is supposed to be about. It's the opposite. So when I see people doing that, it makes me sad because we have so much power and we wield it amongst each other and we don't help out. You know what, guys? That's why I put a post on Facebook, and I didn't get a lot of likes about it because people don't want to hear what I got to say, because I speak the truth and I speak facts, and people don't like facts. People want you to support their narrative, so they'll twist and bend the meaning of spirituality to support their narrative. And what they'll do is they'll post things that other people said and things like that to support their narrative. And someone else's path is not yours. Someone else's words is not yours. It's not your path. You can't judge your path based on what someone else says. You can't. So if you have no life experiences, all of your decisions are based on what other people do and say. That's not a way to live. Even if you're still a sheep, that's not a way to live, because you were that person. Whether you were with a narcissist, whether you were in a bad situation, whether your family treated you like shit, whatever the case may be, you went from being that person blindly to not being that person spiritually. It's a lateral move. If you're following other people's words and following other people's actions and doing what everybody else does, then you're no different from when you were sleeping. You're just aware that you're following people, and because it's peaceful, it's a manufactured peace, which is fake peace. You think that you're at peace when, trust me, those problems will come back around. They will. They're going to come back around. It's that family that you abandoned. As soon as someone died, what if someone dies in that family that you were close to? You got to go to that funeral. You got to face those people. Are you not going to go to the funeral? Are you not going to go to a wedding? Are you not going to go to someone's whatever the case may be? That's an example. But whatever the case may be, those problems will arise again. See, we got to think in terms of generations. We think in terms of our time. What you do now, like what I'm doing right now with my spirituality, it may not be seen until my son's kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids. Just like breaking generational curses. We speak in generational when it comes to curses, but when it comes to spirituality and positivity and spreading the word, we speak as self. How backwards is that? How backwards is it to speak of curses and things like that? We're so powerful that we can break generational curses. Generational curses, someone did something, or what you're doing right now, or maybe someone did something in your generation 3 generations ago that sparked what you're going through now. You don't know that, right? The same way what you're doing now can spark something down 3 generations down the road from where you're at now. So, being that the case, why can't we look at spirituality as a whole like that? You see, because generational curses make you feel powerful. It makes you feel like you're special and you can do something special. So therefore, it's a portion narrative. So you use that when you're speaking about what you can do or what you're capable of doing. But when it comes to actually doing the work and facing negative people and facing people and standing up to narcissists and dealing and mending your family together, all of a sudden it's self. This is spirituality has the most hypocrites I've ever seen in my freaking life. You speak one way about power and then you speak another way about self. It don't go that way. It's the service of others on all levels. Period. Are you risking your peace? Yes. That's what you said. You signed up for that. You signed up to risk your peace. Yes. And I know some of you are like, oh no. Okay, then well, how do you expect to break generational curses by speaking to people who think like you? How do you expect to break a generational curse by sitting in your living room conversating with people who think like you? You break curses by attacking the curse. That's how you break curses. You don't break it by meditating and wishing upon a star. That shit is fairy tale. Oh, the Akashic records and all that bullshit. That's fairy tale. If it's true, we don't know, so therefore your life should be dependent on it. Period. So that's my video. I hope this pissed somebody off enough to make a change. Peace.